Hi everyone, so for this video we will gonna delve more regarding the topic of material balance. Okay, so we will gonna have a detailed discussion regarding the let's have first the basis and the units and the computations regarding this material balance, and as well as the layout of these material balances. Okay, so the first thing that we need to look at, remember last time that we need to consider the three basic categories. We have the material that is going in to the system, and we have this system. And also we need to consider materials that is going out. Also we have what we call the stored materials. So the first thing is regarding this material balances is to look at the three basic categories, which are the materials in, out, and the stored materials on the system or during the process. Okay, so the materials in each category, we have to consider on how can we treat them. Okay, so regarding the treatment, how will you analyze the material that is going in, out, and stored in the system? Maybe we can treat the material as a whole, so we can use this, or maybe during the analysis or during the balance, we can treat those materials as a gross mass balance. And we can also treat these materials using various constituents. Okay, so meaning for these various constituents, maybe we can treat them separately, and if so, we need to think, or we need to consider what constituents. Like for example, during your analysis, you have your material that is composed of, say for example, it is composed of water and non-water constituents. So maybe we have there some liquids and some solids that is being processed and being analyzed on your material balances. So in order for us to analyze these material balances, again we need to consider the three basic categories: the in, out, and stored materials, and how will you treat those materials, as a whole, as a gross, or as a various constituents. And if you will treat this at like this, you need to consider what constituents are you gonna use. So so having these concepts in our mind, let's now move on to some basis and units on how we can calculate and analyze these material balances. So remember those concepts for the basis and units. Okay. So since we've already decided which treatments or which constituents will be considered, then we can now have our basis for calculations. Of course, we need to establish this for us to easy analyze our given problem or our analysis of the balances. Okay, so some basis for calculations, like what I have said, is if we have decided regarding the treatments, like for example, which constituents are we gonna consider, or maybe we have some um, raw materials entering the process in a certain system. Maybe we have to take the basis for calculation of a batch system, or a continuous one. Okay. So having this basis for considerations, and you can also define other basis. Okay. So after having this or selecting your basis, then you can now come up and choose which units may be used. Like for example, if you choose the batch system, then maybe your materials there can have a unit such as for example, you use a uh, unit of mass. Maybe um, you treat the materials per kilogram basis, or maybe you can use a uh, volumetric basis, cubic meter, and what else? Maybe in terms of concentration, like for example, you need to consider moles and etc. Okay, so that is for batch system. And if we consider the continuous one, then for selection of units, of course, say we have this continuous process, the mass going in and out continuously on the system. Then to um, to analyze the system, of course, you need to cut this this continuous flow of the process to have your unit um, materials per unit time. Okay, so for the analysis, so you have your say your mass per unit time, mass per time. Say for example, you've analyzed these per kilogram hour, or yeah, usually the analysis is in terms of per hour, but you can also use um, different units and dimensions that is suitable, which is based on the analysis, and I mean which is um, based on the analysis or your basis for your calculation. Okay, so on the next video we will gonna do some example regarding this calculation. So see you on our next video. Thank you.